Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Hi, my name is Amy. It is lovely to meet you. On this channel I post about frugal living and feeding your family on a budget, so if you like that kind of thing I would love it if you would stick around and see more from me by pressing that subscribe button. Okay, so in today's video I wanted to talk about one of the ways that I keep our food budget so low. And it's not something that I do every single week, it's something that I do every 2 or 3 months. I will do a kind of top up of this kind of shop. So what it is to go to a discount food wholesaler. Now they are surplus from supermarkets and from manufacturers that are either close to date or are just past their best before date. Now that's a best before date, not a use by date, so it is still perfectly good to eat, and it will be for some time. So what I will do is, if there is items that are shelf stable that I know we go through a lot, I will try and buy them from these places. Now something that I do with our local one, which is one that I can actually go and visit, is to keep an eye on their Facebook page, because they post products as they come up. Now something that I've been particularly looking for recently is noodles. I found it really difficult to get hold of the cheaper packs of, you know, the instant noodles. They're something that we go through quite a lot of, because they're something that it's really easy to make a meal if you have those in. You can have those and some leftover veg that you've got in your fridge at the end of the week, bung in some meat if you've got it, and you've got yourself a stir fry. And also the girls really like them with some vegetables and sausages, that sort of thing. They're perfect. So we go through those a lot, but I've really struggled to find the cheaper brands. And so it's something that I've been looking out for. Something else is breakfast cereal that I get an awful lot from places like this. Now I do shop at our local store where I can actually go in and see what I want, but that is somewhere that you buy by the case. So you have to buy a whole box of something. You can't just go in and buy one of an item. So I also shop online if I want smaller quantities. I'll list some of the places that I go below. The one that I use most often is Best Before It's Gone. I've previously used Approved Food and Clearance XL, but there are loads of them out there, and like I say, I'll list some below. So if I want individual items, or I'm just looking to do a larger shop where I can go through and price everything as I go, I will do online. But I also then go into the store at Rogers Wholesale, which is our local one. But again, they are across the country. Both Rogers have a few different stores across the country, but there are loads of other places like this as well. So I will keep an eye on their Facebook page, and then if an item that I know that I need and that I know that I'm going to go through comes into stock, I will then go and buy it. So yesterday this happened. I happened to be online and saw that they'd put on their Facebook page about these noodles. So I ended up getting this whole case. I don't know if you can see it. This whole case of noodles, which is a whole case of noodles, which is 72 packs of the individual noodles, and that was £6 for 72 packs of noodles, which we will go through. The other thing that I bought was some granola. Now cereal is something that we go through a lot of, and it's something that can work out quite expensive unless you're always buying sort of the cheaper products. So to get some variety, you end up paying for it. So this one is one that Ian really likes. He really likes granola, and this was 10 packs of it for £4. So each pack it's supposed to be 10 portions, but he tends to use a little bit more. So basically each one will tend to do a week's worth. So it's 10 weeks worth of cereal for £4, so it's 40p per bag for each of that. Now when you're doing this, although yes, this is a brilliant deal for the stuff that I got, and it's stuff that I know that I will use, you do need to be careful to make sure that you are buying things that you will actually use. It's very easy to see something, or it is for me anyway, very easy to see something and go, oh my god, that's an amazing deal, and then just go overboard on what I'm buying. So I do have to be really, really strict with myself as to what I'm getting. The other thing to bear in mind when you buy from places like this online is that you do pay quite a bit for shipping because it's heavy. All of these kind of products really add up weight-wise. So the place that I tend to go to most often is £6 delivery for the basic amount, which is 25 kilos, which, although 25 kilos is a lot, if you're buying heavy items like drinks and those sorts of products, you will go through your weight allowance quite quickly. So you do need to factor in those costs as well when you're working out your price per item. It's also really important to pay attention to the price per item, because although things can seem really cheap, sometimes actually you might be paying for a brand. Yes, that's a really good price, but actually you could get a cheaper version in the supermarket for less money anyway. So do pay attention to the different prices. Having said that, another thing you have to be careful of is watching your quantities, because it's quite easy, because you're buying things by cases quite often, to think you're buying maybe a pack of 10 of something, whereas actually you might be buying a case of 10 packs. So you might end up with sort of 100 of something rather than 10 of something. So you do need to pay attention to what you're actually buying. So pay attention to your quantities as well. Something else you need to bear in mind when you're doing this is storage. So if you're buying big cases of things, you do need to pay attention to storage. Obviously these items can be quite bulky if you're buying a lot of them, so make sure that you've got somewhere to put what you're buying, but also make sure it's something that you're actually going to start using pretty quickly. Although these products will be good for a while, if you're buying a large quantity of them, just going through them is going to take you a while. So you want to make sure that you don't end up wasting something, because it does go bad if you're not using it for sort of 2 or 3 years or something. You're not then getting the benefit of that. So my biggest pro for this way of shopping is that you really can save a lot of money as long as you're working out sensibly what you're actually buying, so you know that you're buying things that you will actually use. It's also a really good way to make sure that you're stocked up. So it's something that I tend to know that I always have something in the house that I can feed us. If something happens and we can't get to the shop or whatever, I know that I have something I can feed us as a family. One of the biggest cons of this way of shopping is that you need to be able to pay for things up front. So although you will see a saving in your overall food spend, that's over a longer period of time. So you need to have that money available to be able to buy the items up front to then make your saving. It's not something that you will be able to see immediately as a saving. This way of shopping does save us a lot of money, but it is something where I have previously spent a lot more than I meant to, because I've gone, oh, that's a good price, oh, that's a good price, oh, that's a good price, and just gone through and added loads of stuff to my basket without actually really thinking things through, and gone, oh yes, I'll definitely use that, I'll definitely use that. But unless I'm actively thinking about how I'm going to use that, it's the kind of stuff that I would then put in a cupboard and forget about. So if you have a look in your area, if you just look for something, Google something similar to past best before shops or past best before food, and you should find quite a few come up. Like I say, there are places to shop online. I've just done my latest online shop, and so when that arrives I will do sort of like a shopping haul for you to show you exactly what I got, how much it cost, and what I'm actually going to use everything for, because it's the kind of shop that can seem really random, because it is the dried products generally. It's condiments you can get this way really cost effectively. Things like cereal. Cereal is a brilliant one to buy this way. I always save a lot of money on it. So looking at just these two products, that cost me £10 for those two, and it will reduce what I'm spending every week for a lot of weeks to come. So that's where you start to see the effect on your food budget. It's not an instantaneous thing, and you do need to have that money available up front. I will generally only spend about £20 or £30 every time I'm doing it, so I will try and get 1 week's worth of food budget where I don't need to go to the supermarket, so that then I can use that whole food budget on items like this, which then stock me up for a while. You could also try just keeping back a little bit of your food budget each week, sort of a pound or two, and then doing a shop, and then by the time you come to the next one you will start to see the savings. But it can be quite tricky to have that money up front. You need to have that money available to you in the first place. This is something that I've been doing for quite a while. I have spoken about it briefly in a previous video, but it's also something that is just keeping this food out of landfill. So these kind of places are popping up all over the place now, and there's definitely more and more of them, and there's more awareness for it. But all of this food would have just been binned, which is no good for anybody. So I hope you found that video useful. Like I said, I will pop the links in the description below if you guys want to go and have a look at any of these places. And do have a Google and see if there's anywhere where you can go in store and have a look anywhere near you. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I would love it if you would subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you on Saturday for another video, the one that was supposed to be today, but because of me needing to buy these things, I thought it was a good time to mention this to you now. So I will be back with another video, which is some budget food recipes for you. So 3 different recipes, they're all under 50p per head. Bye!